This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy and other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. Coming to you live from the Riot Games Arena in Berlin, Germany, we have witnessed 10 incredible teams duke it out for the title of champion. We've seen joy, we've seen tears, we've seen records being broken all week, and now we finally reach the lower finals where we will see the last hopes of EMEA and Brazil face off in this best of 5. Welcome everyone to the Game Changers Championship 2024 lower finals. I'm your host Victoria, and on the desk with me we've got Wyatt and a very special guest, Minnie, Coach Minnie, Potato Minnie.
Potato Minnie.
How have you been enjoying everything here in Germany so far? You've been hanging out with Sliggy as well. Shout out to Sliggy and his
Shout out to
plugs.
Sliggy.
Yeah.
Everything's been great but hanging out with Sliggy, to be honest with you.
Oh, so is that why you're here with us?
That's why I'm here. I avoiding the stream. I thought I'd escape to here. Yeah, avoid the stream.
Yeah. Your thoughts on Wingman?
I hate him just as much as Sliggy.
Oh, you do?
But there's a fan in the crowd who has their own Wingman hoodie thing.
Yeah.
And I might be wearing that today, apparently. So
That's so hypocritical.
just to scare Sliggy.
Oh, okay.
He hates it. You know, I mean, I gotta make sure that he feels more uncomfortable than me sometimes.
Okay.
That's
Better be a G2 fan then. MIBR, they're still playing a lot of Gecko.
That's
a
true.
A lot of Wingman.
That's true.
In fact, yeah, let's talk a little bit about what happened on the stage yesterday, because we had two incredible matches, starting with this two overtimes on these two maps.
Yeah, this was insane. Very lucky that I got to cast this game yesterday. You can't ask for anything better in the biggest rivalry that we have in the scene. The two most iconic duos of GC with Mel and Alexis versus Petra and Mimi. That was just incredible.
Yeah, it was like it was a 2-0, but like it didn't feel like a 2-0. Like that was a hell of a series.
Yeah,
Best 2-0 you
absolutely.
could possibly have.
It could have been anyone's game in that first one. Between the two of them going into that overtime, and of course the second game, Zipto getting knocked out, sadly. Now, looking at the brackets, this is where we are now in the lower finals, and yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is basically the same bracket we had last year. Is this surprising to you guys? I know some of you guys had some early predictions about how this might play out.
You're not feeling surprised? Your
No,
head
not
is
at all.
shaking in a
My
horizontal fashion.
pick'ems are pretty close to this. I think the top 3 at this tournament are, you know, Zipto are very good, but I think the top 3 is where the elite of the elite are, and they're all fantastic.
Yeah, so maybe not entirely surprised, but I think the results and the individual performances we've been seeing, that has been upgraded and a bit surprising in the best of ways. Now that brings us to today's Mastercard fan poll. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think we're going to get a repeat NA versus Brazil Grand Final tomorrow? So scan the QR code to cast your vote. You guys know how this works. We want to know what you think. So pour in those votes, tell us what you think, and of course remember to use the hashtag VCT Game Changers so we can feature you on the broadcast. So VCT Game Changers or VCT, hashtag VCT. I think we look out for those two. Some pretty funny comments rolling up on our broadcast. Now, following tomorrow's trophy presentation, which, have you guys seen the trophy? It's pretty nice.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
I'm keeping myself spoiler-free on
Okay.
the trophy so I can see it
Okay.
when it's meant to be revealed.
Unlike Arcane spoilers, which are accidentally being revealed. But the
I've
trophy
also avoided.
is amazing. So we also are going to be giving out the GCC 2024 Most Valuable Player Award. And I think we have a couple of players in the running. Minnie, who are your MVPs?
Yeah,
for
so I
this tournament so far?
picked out a few. So for me, it's there's 5 players that we picked out. So the way I've done it is that I think that if Shopify win the tournament, personally, I think only Floor can win MVP. Like,
Okay.
I don't think that there's much
No, it's.
more to
I mean,
say.
as
Really?
of
Not
right
even?
now, Floor overall statistically is eclipsing where she was at last year, where she MVP'd. So strong case to do it again if I saw her win.
It's like unfortunate for Floor's teammates. Well, it's a blessing and a curse. Like to have Floor as your teammate's great.
Yeah.
but you can put up an MVP performance, but then you got Floor on your team anyway. So that's the kind of.
And it looks like Floor is ready to fight us if we don't. That image, if I'm being totally honest.
Got cracking her knuckles there.
But if they don't, the rest of the players you put up here are all, frankly, the exact same 4 that I would have too. I mean, can't deny the firepower of Petra, how many round-saving moments she's had for G2. Same with Amy, that Cypher game yesterday was crazy. She's been so consistent. And then, yeah, the MIBR players you picked as well. Just firepower on that team.
Incredible.
Nuts.
Yeah, like...
What are your measurements for MVP? Is it just, you know...
Like historically, you will know that I'm a stats kind of guy.
Okay.
I look at the ADR, who's at the top, but we're looking at like Petra here, who maybe not having the same like performances like Fluorescent, but in the kind of like those clutch moments, those big moments, like every single time, she's just there for G2, saving G2 basically right now. So I think there's a nice blend of high statistical players and high impact players.
Okay, that's fair. Is that how you measure them too, Wyatt?
Yeah, definitely. And didn't speak a ton about the last 2 over on MIBR, but if they continue this run, if we get the repeat of history from last year that we were just talking about, that duo has propelled them to the next level.
Oh yeah.
Again, like the round saving that we talk about with Petra, how many times has Jelly just suddenly ran into a site, flicked around and killed like 2-3 players on a retake? Oh, okay. Round that they simply did not deserve to win has gone their way. It got happened so many times against Zeta. Yeah, pretty unreal play from that Brazilian duo. Can't be ignored.
Yeah, absolutely not. And we are definitely going to dive deeper into that later as well. Now, what the MVP will get of the Game Changers Championship 24, there's an award, and they're going to be given a custom-made bracelet tomorrow after the grand final. It's very similar to what we saw at Championships with Kang Kang and his really nice bracelet. So this MVP bracelet was made in collaboration with an LA jeweler called Good Art, and it's made of sterling silver. It's got those are real diamonds, guys. So it's a custom bracelet for the winner, and whoever gets it will be shining bright like the diamond.
That's crazy. And that's why I'll never get a raise. Apparently that's where the money's going. That's crazy. The diamond-studded bracelet, I can't.
Anyone who gets it probably deserves it more than any of us, so I think
and that's probably true.
Though
I hate to admit it, that's probably true.
Okay, now these two teams that we met these two teams playing today met just 3 days ago, which feels forever ago, but they have already faced off. G2 had to pull out all the stops actually to defeat MIBR and stay in the upper bracket for as long as possible. What do you guys, let's actually recap a little bit what happened those 3 days ago.
Yeah, on this first map, Bind, it was really close when G2 were on attack. I think there's a pretty good stylistic matchup for them. They're slow on those attack sides, and it was baiting out MIBR's aggression. But when MIBR are on their attack side, oh my god, they are ruthless. They are so aggro, it's impossible to deal with.
Like SRN is just really hard. Like SRN's playing Raze, but the speed at which SRN plays that, it's like Neon anyway, kind of thing is the way.
Genuinely, yeah.
So I think the map pool is going to be interesting today because the Bind was a big asterisk for me over G2, and MIBR love a Bind. So it's going to be interesting to see between the Ascent and the Bind what today G2 decide to ban, I guess.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see a rematch on Sunset because MIBR have been tearing everyone apart on that map, but couldn't get anything done against G2 previously. They looked tactically way out of their depth against G2. And then no one's even close to beating them on it after that, which is so mental. So yeah, that's a map I'm really excited for the rematch on.
Yeah, I mean, it is a best of 5 today, so high chance we will see that rematch on Sunset. Now, MIBR, they lost that day, but honestly, since then, we've been thriving through the lower bracket. They took down Zeta, and then they also took down Zipto yesterday. All my Pacific babies are gone thanks to MIBR, but well earned, especially with these kind of performances. What you guys were just talking about, SRN and Jelly just, totally fragging out of their minds.
Yeah, it was another crazy day for them too. Like, it was just, to be honest, that second map felt like a bit of a blip, and maybe we don't see, I think it's split, right? Maybe we don't see that today, because that was a bit of a blip. But like every other map right now, Jelly and SRN are just just stealing the show away, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Do you feel like they've gotten better since dropping to the lower bracket?
I mean, the sample size is small, so
It is,
I'm not
yeah.
sure. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. I don't know what to say really. SRN and Jelly.
Is
it's
that
like
the only
SRN
one
goes in
condition?
and then
Is that
Jelly.
like the...
No, of course. Like Sayuri as an IGL. Like there's some fragging IGLs in the tournament, but fragging IGLs that both have the IGLing down and the fragging down. Like Sayuri has been kind of having these really big impact moments.
Yeah.
So there are obviously other players in the team, but it feels like SRN's entries is like a big win condition, and then Jelly just popping off when they need to is like the other thing.
Okay. Well, that's a good point, and we're going to talk more about that. But before that, we did get to have a quick chat of Sayuri. Speaking of Sayuri, she had to have a quick say with Mika Fab, so let's see what that's all about.
I've got with me Sayuri from MIBR. Sayuri, you guys are on a roll in the lower bracket. I'm wondering how you keep the energy up for every reset, for every series, which is like elimination match day after day after day to pull off this miracle run.
We really want to win, so we have to have the energy. We have no other choice, so we have to win. We want to win, so we have to have energy.
There is no better motivation than that, so good luck to you.
What do you make of that, Wyatt? You know, you've been casting a lot over a number of their games. Do you think it's just, you know, pure performance? Do you think it's a mental factor of being really eager to stay in the game? How are you feeling about
I
it?
mean, they definitely seem like a really fiery team in terms of the personality, especially SRN getting super hype after making their own sick plays. From seeing as well some of the posts on socials, just like, yeah, I came in today, I said I was going to destroy Zeta, and that's what happened. Like, just maxed out confidence, maybe into ego, which is necessary at times, especially with that kind of play style. As soon as you get, you know, off a little bit mentally, not going for some of those same kills that they typically might be, game plan kind of falls apart. So, yeah, need that level of confidence that they've got.
Yeah, well, we also have something more for you guys. Ahead of Game Changers, Coach Potter got to sit down with 3 members of the G2's 2022 championship team for a trip down memory lane, so check it out.
Welcome back to the studios. I'm Potter, and I'm joined by G2 Mimi, Petra, and Falcons Mary here. We're going to be rolling back the years. We're going to be taking a look back. A couple of these players are here trying to get their revenge from last year, and in 2022 actually had an incredible grand finalist appearance. So we're going to be taking a few looks at a few clips, incredible moments. Do you guys think, how's the memory going?
The clips will help.
The clips will help?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go right into it then, because some of these rounds are incredible. We're going to go straight into map 1. Now, this was on Pearl, and you guys were down here in this round. This is a 4 versus 2. I'm just going to press play. We'll pause it in a couple instances and talk about it. But this should start off as a 4v3 retake.
Definitely remember this one.
We lost this one.
Did we get? Oh no!
Okay, let's press
There's
play.
no way we didn't lose this. I remember our retakes. Guys, take
Oh.
elbow first, guys. Take it. Oi.
4 versus 2 here.
Oh, this is where.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Big one.
look
by
at us.
one.
But then,
No, it's my
Oh.
turn. I got this.
no, you're dead.
And that was, I mean, kudos to Lori. That's an incredible shot. But how is the comms like in that instance? Because it's so hectic. You guys want to swing together, but who's in charge of comms like that in the hectic instances?
I mean, I don't know. It should have been me, I guess. But I don't remember what the calls were like. Yeah.
it was
Maybe
a
there
while
were
ago.
no calls.
She probably just said, I'm swinging, and then I'm swinging.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
swinging.
I'm gonna press play again.
Uh-huh.
Giuliano is in a 1v1, and this is such an impossible scenario. Not only a 1v1, but versus an Astra in a post plant,
Yeah,
right?
good
So
luck.
let's play this. Are you guys hopeful in this scenario? Or are you
No.
just like accepting the fate? Like, this is over.
Accepting.
This round.
Yeah, I mean, when you know that, when you tap, and you know they're not peeking, it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
over.
You lost it.
Okay. Well, you guys are down 6-11 here. Mimi, you're veteran. You've been around for so long. Petra, you as well. You've got the youngin and Mary here. What was the energy levels like? Were you feeling like down because you were down by so much, or was it still exciting here?
I think the energy was never down actually. Like we have a lot of experience, and you as well. We all know like we can come back from anything, and it's all very possible. And yeah, so we kept the energy up and stayed positive, and we were like fighting for every round.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, well, let's go straight into clip 2 because this is where it starts. This is where it starts. You guys were actually down 0-2, backs against the wall. You have to reverse sweep in the grand finals to lift the trophy. Not only do you reverse sweep in the last 3 maps, but you do it in a dominant, stomping fashion. I mean, you're up 9-0 here. You can do no wrong. And this clip, it's actually a 2 versus 5. I thought it was a 2 versus 4, but it's actually a 2 versus 5. Mimi, you get 3 kills here. And let's just remind you of what these shots look like.
I remember the comms. Mimi, can you wait? No,
I know, yeah. I'm
I
dead.
literally
She said
said,
that,
I am
dead.
dead. I am dead. I said it way before this. I'm like, Mary's like, stay alive. I'm dead, Mary. I am dead. I am dead.
So this was like a, I'm gonna take some down before I go down type of scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, did you even realize that you killed that third after those shots?
I realized it like after I died. I was like, okay, good luck, Mary. I tried my best. You got this.
Okay, eating the shock dart. So let's just enjoy this clutch then. So Mary, you know the spike is down here.
Yeah.
You're playing the chamber, of course.
Of course.
So, I mean, I remember this clutch. I gave him time. I wanted them to like overthink a bit, because you know I had the spike in charge, so I could be anywhere in the map. So I was just like taking my time, clearing out everything, and then I just realized that okay, I tapped, no one's here, I'll just bounce. And then they gave up both of their positions, so I knew that there were 2 in shorts, and then I knew that she TP'd in the smoke, and I just clutched it out.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, yeah, I think that sound cue coming from OMEN definitely helped you out for sure
100%.
in this 1v2. But did you guys have dead comms in this moment? Did your teammates help you to put 2 and 2 together, or you just realized
No,
it right away?
usually I remember in clutches like everyone would just stay quiet, you know.
Okay.
Unless there is like some important thing that I didn't catch, they'd probably just call it out.
And I must say, we're also pretty good at like chaos. So when there's a lot of chaos, there's still a lot of comms, but we can hear each other, and yeah, we're very good at controlling it. So it was exactly one of those moments, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes even now, like our coach is like pausing to be like, this seemed so chaotic, and every player's like, we had everything under control. We knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
Like every comms is like, we know what's going on. We know what's not going on too. So I think sometimes it can seem so messy, but it just makes so much sense when you're in the moment.
Yeah, that's that synergy, that natural synergy. Beautiful. Okay, well, I mean, I'm glad I got to experience this 22-22 again. You ladies have been dominating in EMEA. How are you feeling about this tournament coming into this now?
I mean, I think we always feel good, but everyone comes in with like hard preparation, and every game is gonna be tough, no matter the team, no matter the region. I'm just very excited that we got to make it another year, and very blessed that it's in Berlin. Like it feels good as a European, right?
It feels good, honestly. You know, like they gave me all the experience that I needed, you know, as a 16-year-old, and now I'm going in like spreading their legacies and their experience onto others.
Yeah.
So like it's such a nice thing, honestly. Like I have so much respect for these two.
Oh.
They've shaped me, so I love them.
Yeah, I miss old G2. But now we've also made a roster change on our desk. Kukuka here has returned to our roster, taking Wyatt's place.
I mean, he was
Welcome.
subbing in technically.
Yeah.
This is my desk. Hi, Minnie. Good to see
Hello.
you. You enjoying the
Yeah,
experience so far?
it's off camera, being bullied already for the last 5
It's
minutes.
okay. I'll make sure that you're miserable when you leave.
All right, now we got to talk about G2. Now G2, we just saw a bit of a chat there with Potter. They have one advantage over MIBR coming into this, and it's experience on the global stage, and experience especially in best of fives. They have a pretty great record here, only losing once.
Yeah, exactly. If people remember last year, yes, they were in the lower final, but that was only a best of 3. And even though, as we can see in this graphic, they haven't had quite an easy journey throughout this tournament, is in these long matches that G2 goes and has always been able to come up on top. So this record is one of the things that they have going for themselves after the insane experience that they've got in the tournament.
Yeah, I think it's like partly the Petra Mimi kind of effect really. Like they've been in these situations for the past, you know, beyond game changers, beyond Valorant. So having those players in your team can like lift up the other players. And when it gets kind of a little bit messy later into the kind of best of 5 series, that's when Valorant strategy goes out the window a little bit. Kind of those experienced players are there to kind of level everything out.
Oh yeah. So I guess especially as your experience as a coach, you've seen this, having many experience of going through best of 5s yourself.
There was a 5th map we once, you know.
What is it that breaks down at some point? Is it usually early on in this best of 5 or like the
around the
halfway
3rd
mark?
or 4th map, like fatigue sets in a little bit, and then remembering stuff just goes out the window. Like remembering the preparation and remembering your own ideas, and it becomes messy. It just becomes messy. And so having those experienced players just keeping the fundamentals in check are just really important.
And also, if we think about on the other side, the experience from MIBR throughout this entire year, they were always losing the best of 5 against Team Liquid. It was only the only one, and actually the one that brought them here, that they managed to win. But with looking at what happened yesterday, when we talk about very, very close matches that G2 Gosen has been having throughout this tournament, yesterday was no different. I think that people and G2 Gosen have struggled a lot to start strong in the maps. It looks like they're a little bit lost. Like, it's not only that the plans are not coming into fruition, it's like the ideas are going out the door. We don't see them playing together. We see them making mistakes that regionally we don't usually see them.
Yeah. To be fair, I think there are mistakes happening on both sides. This is why we went so far into an overtime, both of those maps. And even though the score was a 2-0 or 0-2, depending how you want to look at it, I think it really could have gone either way. But you know what? Let's hear from the ladies. Mika Fabs is down with G2's Amy, so let's see what Amy has to say.
We're going to get Chamber and Viper out of the way because we've got an expert Cypher player over here in G2. Amy, you had an insane performance yesterday despite the loss. I'm wondering, how it felt going up against the reigning champions in Shopify Rebellion.
I think they're a great team, and I think it just gives me a lot of motivation and fuel to play against them. So it was really fun, and I hope we'll get a rematch. But first, it's MIBR.
Yeah, but I like your energy today because I'm wondering if there's extra pressure on you, especially at this time in the tournament because of the legacy of G2 and especially in the house of Gosen.
I feel like I've been just waiting, like since I've been competing, you want to play again in this tournament. So I feel pressure, but of course it's good pressure. Like you want to have the pressure because it makes me play good and it gives me energy. So I'm really excited to play these last 2 matches.
You've been waiting for this. Yeah. This is your moment. This is Amy's moment to shine. So let's see you.
I think being able to perform under pressure is something that's very important to any competitor. But a player that I definitely want to talk about because this player has stepped up, and if they step up again today, Petra, that could be a really good thing. I mean, with Petra stepping up last time they faced against MIBR, that helped them carry over that finish line.
I love the fact that we always say that Petra is very reliable. I think that it's not only that we see it in every map. I think that the maps that we've seen, the bigger difference is when she has moved onto that fate. She's probably the best fate that we have in the tournament right now, and she always finds a way to make a difference. And isn't this kind of rounds like this, I think it's 12 from Haven, that we just see her making the right decision when the pressure is the biggest.
What do you make of Petra's performance?
It's been phenomenal. I mean, like, she was in my MVP list, so she's been very good. Before the tournament, like, she's obviously there as an experienced player, but like, I was expecting more from some of the other players in the team right now. I think she's having to carry a lot of the load for, specifically, to be honest, Rescue and Vania, I think, domestically are the players that I look at as maybe some of the best players in the world. But I think Petra's having to carry a little bit right now, and I'm hoping that Turkish players kind of get into the comfort of the LAN environment.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting take. It's a very interesting take about it. Hopefully the rest of them step up. So Petra, shoulders aren't so sore after that. But we did also get a bit of Shopify's comms yesterday, who also had some thoughts about Petra. So listen to what they had to say.
Bro, like, I don't want to like say this, but I think Petra's the best player in the world.
No, I've been saying that.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it.
Like, I don't want to say this because we're playing against her, but this might be the go.
I mean, that sounds more than just a carry. That's Larson said it.
We've been saying that probably Fluorescent is going to be getting the MVP, right? If Shopify is able to win tomorrow. And we've been talking about when we did the GOAT segment, she comes out on top. So if she is the GOAT, but then she says that Petra is the GOAT, then what are we doing?
Yeah, who's the GOAT? If the best coach in the world said
She's upstairs,
that
no,
Minnie's the best coach, are you the best coach in the world?
We'll have to ask Potter.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to ask him about that.
Right answer.
All right, now we like to play games at the desk. So Minnie, I hope you're ready for some mini games. And this one is courtesy of Kukuka. Kukuka loves this game. I've seen this game happen a lot in EMEA. It's called Two Truths, One Lie. We're going to find out how well we know our teams. So Kukuka, take it away.
So, of course, this game is a little bit difficult, and I think that the most anybody has gotten is one right. So, Minnie, if you get two, you definitely beat the game.
Okay.
But I think I've been benevolent this time around. They're not too difficult. Some of them are a bit difficult, but I'm going to give you 3 subjects before we go to the statements. So you can choose first. We have G too good to be true, shots fired, or is that your GOAT?
A G too good to be true, just for the pun.
Okay, just for the pun and just because you're a G2 enjoyer. Okay, so here are our 3 statements. Number 1, G2 Gosen has the highest 4v5 conversion amongst our top 3 teams. Do you think that might be true? Wait until the second one. G2 Gosen is the only team that has not played double controller on bind in GCC. And number 3, every player on G2 Gosen but Mimi has gotten an ace this tournament.
Is number 2, is that this year?
Yes, this GCC. This Game Changers Championship. Victoria, of course you need to answer as well.
Oh, I will also answer? Okay.
Okay.
I'm lingering.
Wait, 2 truths and a lie, right?
Yeah, so 2 of them are true, 1 of them is a lie. You need to spot
I'm gonna go
the lie.
number 2 lie. but-
Number 2 is the lie. Victoria, what do you think?
I'm going to go with number 3.
With number 3, and surprisingly to no one, you're both wrong, is number 1. Right now, MIBR and Shopify Rebellion have a 37.5.
So hard.
I want to leave already.
It's
Yeah,
so hard.
4v5 conversion, and G2 is around a 26. But it doesn't matter. Victoria, would you choose between our other 2?
G2 do need to go back to the
All right, let's go shots fired.
Okay, shots fired. Let's see what we have here. First statement, Rescue is leading in operator kills this Game Changers Championship. Visa Crew Blaze are the top 1 Sheriff enjoyers this GCC with 116 picks. Or only 2 players have bought an Aris this event. You know, after the buff.
Have to go?
Yeah, no, Victoria, actually, you go first.
Oh,
What
I'll
do you
go
think
first.
this one?
I am going to go with 1 is a lie.
I go 3. 3 is a lie.
You go for 3 is a lie?
Yes.
Actually, 1 is a lie. Rescue is not leading in operator kills. It is actually, I believe it's Alexi, of course, so I'm going to give you an extra point. I believe we do not have time because we're a little bit short, and of course we want the teams to play, but Mini, you did terribly. It doesn't matter because you can come back next time. I will, if we have time, I'll show you the last one, but terrible job.
Okay, well, good job, Minnie. Anyway, it's time for our Mastercard fan poll. Earlier, we asked you if you're getting a repeat grand final. Is it going to be NA versus Brazil? Let's see what you said. 69.7% of you said yes. What do you guys make of this? I don't know what...
I think that is justified, the performance that we're seeing from MIBR. Right now, they're peaking, right? Like, right after that Zeta game, they get in the 13-0, seeing yourself in the position where you might go out if you lose any match. It's usually a very high-pressure situation, but the responses that we've getting from them, even the conversations that we've heard from Jelly and from the players, they're feeling it. They spotted the problems and the issues, and they already have the information and the experience against G2 this tournament.
And Minnie, talk us through your prediction. Do we have your prediction up here?
No,
What is your
they don't care
prediction?
about me. They don't care about me. I think MIBR do win today. I think the best of 5, G2 have the experience, but I think the map pool is a little bit shaky right now.
All right, well, it is time to welcome the players in this Game Changers lower finals. Let's welcome the teams because championship starts right now.
Going through any kind of loss, I will always try and take as much responsibility as possible.
And as Mimi falling, Shopify Rebellion will advance! And for the second year in a row, besting G2 in the exact same part of the bracket.
I know as the IGL, I could have changed the game with different calls, but I prefer me to have the burden rather than my superstars.
Para nós foi muito importante a nossa derrota contra a G2.
It's crippling there for MIBR. Complete annihilation.
Eu acho que a gente não perdeu para elas, a gente perdeu para nós mesmos.
We were in our ready room and Riot is telling me that there's a big fan outside and I need to sign something. So then I open the door to outside and my mom stands there. Sometimes that's just all you need after a loss, a hug from your mom.
My name is Henrietta. I am Mimi's mom. I am here to support G2. I'm just the proudest mom in the world.
Coming from a family with strong women is definitely a blessing. It really has taught me to not doubt myself. Knowing that the next matchup is elimination is, I don't like to think it that way. It's about being in the moment. And that's what the Champs is all about, is really like enjoying what's going on right now. That's what I would remind my teammates.
Em 2013 eu comecei a jogar LoL, então em 2020 lançou o VALORANT, aí eu comecei a jogar, é o meu primeiro FPS. Meu irmão também é pro, então a gente compartilha muitas coisas. O próximo jogo é contra a G2, eu acho que a gente não conseguiu fazer o nosso jogo contra elas, mas está mostrando, né, o nosso real jogo. Eu acho que vai ser 3-0. Se for 3-1 ali tá bom, porque, né, elas cagam demais.
MIBR, you may be loud, but the crowd is cheering for us.
Go for it, girls.
It's lower finals time, baby. The teams are laser focused more than ever in this make or break moment. We've got G2 Gozen and MIBR, the sole remaining representatives of their nations, colliding in a battle for that trophy. And as the map draft comes through, it looks like G2 Gozen wants a second chance at that abyss. And honestly, it's barely been 24 hours since we saw them go OT on this.
Yeah, I'm surprised also because the MIBR, they've been pretty flexible with their veto, and even though they haven't wanted to play either Abyss or Pearl, it's the split that they banned, especially after what we saw yesterday and also the experience that they got against the G2 Gozen roster. But of course, that means, as we're saying, that Abyss is going to be the first map. And I know, Minnie, you're a very big Bind enjoyer, especially when it comes from G2 Gozen.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love that button. I think they should win. No, I think that it's going to be a rough map for G2 on the second map. I'm also a bit curious about the Abyss pick because their defense, specifically the B bombs, that B site, they didn't have an answer for Shopify yesterday.
Are you surprised that MIBR then decided to start on the defense for Abyss then? Because obviously G2 Gozen is going to start on the attack, and not only that, they won 100% of the post plants that they had yesterday. So if that spike goes down, the stats are on their favor.
I do, but SRN should be playing the Yoru, I imagine.
Yeah,
I mean,
we also need to see if they're going to change the comp.
What? Okay, I don't think they will, but I think SRN will be fine on defense.
Can I ask, do you guys have a favorite moment of falling off the map on Abyss? We had like a few.
Yes. The one from Sarah yesterday, it's like, it's the kind of thing that would happen to me, the thinking I'm opening the angle and it's just slipping in the last very corner. Oh, let's hope it happens again.
Yeah, pitfalls of the map.
Oh wow,
Oh,
she's
never
changed.
mind.
She's not on the Yoru.
Okay, what, Jet, Yoru, they're the same. Just
Yeah, but you know, it still changes a bit the things. I mean, the biggest and the only difference that we're seeing between these two lineups is the Astra. Which one do you favor more in this map, Mini?
I love Astra on every map, but it depends on the composition, to be honest. I think Astra. Well, okay, in this composition, Omen is usually a little bit better with the Jet, but I'm surprised they went to the Jet with this comp. The Yoru, I think I prefer quite a lot, but it's all good. SRN's SRN, so all good for MIBR.
It's also good, like we're going to get the head-to-head Rescue versus SRN. I think that the impact from both has been massive, and probably she wants a little bit more freedom, maybe something to do with her ultimate as well, where she's been doing pretty well on that department. So,
Minnie, you know, before you leave us to join the Slugs, now that you've seen the map draft, how are you feeling about your prediction, and how many maps are we going to go to today?
Ooh, that's rough. MIBR banning split is good for them. G2. I'm gonna say we're going 5 maps. 3 to MIBR.
Oh. I actually disagree. I think that if it's a short one, if it's like a 3-0 or a 3-1, it favors MIBR more. And if we go the distance because of the record and because of the resilience that G2 have been showing throughout the tournament and the experience that they had, I say it goes for G2.
All right, well, you heard it from our experts here. Thank you so much, Minnie, for joining us. Now, we are going to go into this LoRa finals, and everything has come down to this very moment. And taking us through the first map are our casters who have trained their whole lives to go the distance in this best of 5 series. It's Mimi and Ender.
It's very true. Thank you, Victoria. We're in for a good one here. This is pretty much the exact scenario as last year. A lower final, G2 goes in against a Brazilian team. G2 got knocked out there, but that was in Brazil. Now they're here at home in Berlin and playing against a completely different Brazilian team.
Yeah, 2 years ago, G2 Gales were able to make it into the final. Today, their chance to run that back, but they're going up against an MIBR that has looked so hot this tournament. They just continue to get better and better, Mimi.
Starting off on the pistol round, G2 for early towards B, dodging the knife.
Yeah, early on, camera was put down into mid, and actually MIBR have a lot of players in mid ready to react to wherever this hit comes in and get 3 players, 4 players on site quickly.
Paranoia is good, and no one from MIBR can really contest this site, so G2, oh, I spoke too soon! SRN had an angle over the top, and Jelly's made something too suddenly. This hit for G2 is completely stalled out.
Yeah, G2 need to slow things down and see if they can find a kill with the shock dart. There's also this lurk going into mid. As teammates of G2 fall, Amy drops as well. MIBR have struck first and in a massive way.
It's just a massacre. Every member but one has fallen for G2 Gozen. And now it's Mimi running to the other site.
I mean, hey, the good news for Mimi is this plant should just about be free. I don't think there's a chance for Sayuri to get here into heaven in time, so that'll be some credits to G2.
Spike planted. But Sayuri's already here. We'll wait for one more player to come in support. And Mimi, she's been overwhelmed there, that's 2. But Jelly won't allow it to get any weirder than that.
Hey, at least it's not perfect against G2. They can have a little win there at the very end, but man, this MIBR team has been looking real good. SRN starting things off with that really crisp headshot over the wall. I love using angles like that. And with that smoke in the center of sight, I just feel like the way MIBR approached every fight they took was really top-notch.
MIBR is a really momentum-heavy team. When you watch them play back at home to qualify here, it was all about getting into the game, yelling, screaming, building each other up, especially for Jelly and SRN. Those two getting pumped up early on their opponent's map pick, I think is so huge. But it's a best of 5, and it's about carrying the energy throughout.
Indeed. It's funny when you look at them sitting out there on the stage, because SRN and Jelly are on one side, and they're the loudest people in the world. And then Melissa and Jubes, on the other hand, much more quiet.
Yes, and then you just have Sayuri in the middle,
the IGL,
leader, trying to balance everything out.
I love it. Rescue and the rest of G2 moving into A-main pretty early here. Some nice shots from Rescue, but traded out with a good blast from Jelly. Flash into backside. I mean, G2's utility has been excellent on the hit, and now they've got numbers.
Yeah, that's a couple kills with the classic. Jubes is here. There's still just 3 players facing just outside of this smoke.
Here.
Thrown in, and oh, she's caught off guard. Amy's found another. Surely it shouldn't happen like this. Oh, it has. G2 goes in an instantaneous reply with nothing but classics.
Rescue with the 3K there to pull off a Mastercard thrifty. I mean, how about that? G2 wake. I mean, they couldn't get a kill to save their lives in the first round, and now they're doing it with just pistols. You gotta shout out the utility though from Mimi over the top of site to support the entrance. That was nice.
Nice. Let's go. Nice.
Just an unreal round to win. And suddenly MIBR is in the unfortunate position of only having a few sheriffs to work with themselves. They're going for a fast play. We saw this one from Shopify the other day, but it won't work out this time. Jelly has found one though. That is, I believe, a Bulldog down.
And with this full mid control, it's hard for the Spike to get back grouped up with the rest of the team. They can slice off these rotations. The G2 have slowed things down. Rescue's waiting for it with the Outlaw. These players are gonna melt, but not if you miss your second shot. Good work from Melissa, but the rest of G2 are closing in.
That's good work from Amy. Well pinched here and dealt with.
Would require a miracle, and it's just simply not gonna happen. Amy steady with it again. Amy actually having a pretty stellar performance yesterday up against Shopify Rebellion, especially on that second map.
An unreal performance from her.
Was looking really good on the Cypher on Haven. Of course, this Abyss map, another one that they faced off against. Shopify went more than the distance, you would say. And G2 after going to double overtimes. You have to feel like they think they could have won that series.
And they could have literally 2 rounds of difference.
Yeah.
And they're in that upper, not just in that upper, they're all the way to the grand finals by now. They get the double ban advantage. It's a different world.
Interesting though that heading into this round, round 4 is when G2 are taking the bonus because of the shenanigans early on. And that'll mean a much slower round, right? With Rescue holding onto the Outlaw for now. See if we can maybe step into A, but it's a high-low setup over on A. Between the KO and the Astra. We've seen MIBR on this before.
G2 should see it with this drone. Actually, they just fall away from the setup. Both MIBR players backside. Sayuri has an angle. Will send in that pull, tries to spam away, but G2 just stall out for a second.
Yeah, some nice damage actually went down onto both Petra and Rescue. G2 very low for that, but rotations have actually been called in now. Some players moving into the A site leaves MIBR's B a bit weak.
Jubes. Would find a timing here. No, it goes the other way. Amy is traded out, so it's all right for MIBR. They maintain mid control, but now B is the problem.
It'll be SRN on the same angle as before. Petra spots it though. Now they're gonna have to drop down. Buying as much time as possible. There's only 30 seconds, and now Melissa has made it into the site. A good turn of the flash, and excellent shots to follow it up means the G2 have to leave.
They're going back into mid. 25 seconds. Are they going spawn to B? What's the call here for G2?
They're looking for a little bit of everything right now, ignoring vents, and instead, yeah, wrapping around all the way through top mid.
15 seconds.
They should have time to plant this spike.
It's gonna be close though.
But the problems are A-main hasn't been cleared. There's still 3 players coming back into spawn. G2 have to fight forward into one of these sides.
They'll choose spawn. Jelly will have a late flank, but the main force from MIBR is grouped up together.
Revealing area.
CT.
MIBR are so worried about someone lurking in their backs.
Anya, the superstar of last year in EMEA, can't do a thing. Taken down by Melissa. Mimi has traded back, but the Outlaw shots miss again from Rescue. And that's MIBR succeeding in their retake.
Some flickering HP bars there on SRN and Sayuri. But they win that round, defeat G2 on their bonus.
Shooting the spray already.
Unload a little bit extra at the end, why not? It was a really nice shot from Amy to start things off in mid. Unfortunately got caught throwing out the cage.
SRN, when she plays on this Jet, I think no matter the map, does such a good job of finding that gap through smokes in the execute to get her kill, get out. She's almost always good for her when she's side anchoring.
Especially on a map like Abyss where there's a lot of these different funky angles you can play with the elevation.
All 5 members of G2 towards A again. They'll wait for the knife.
Should be hard to accelerate though, because there's a knife. Jelly can also pop the null command and shut down any kind of a hit, especially when you know 3 players are there.
Are they just gonna go for it regardless? Mimi has null command.
Who's gonna cast it first?
Astra is on site, but it's just the knife instead.
They both get it off.
No utility, but the pull, it was there in time, and that's everything for MIBR.
I think that was Mimi that cast it first, but Jelly, you have a half second before you can slam that ult to cancel it out. It means no dashes, no updrafts to get into sight. Rescue just a sit and duck.
It's that instantaneous reaction. You have just a few frames to get
Hold on
done.
though, SRN on the wide angle. Okay. G2 are falling apart in this round.
Only Petra and Vanya now. And MIBR knows something is up in mid.
Angles are a bit isolated for now, especially if SRN continues to keep peeking forward.
Second round now. G2 is taking mid control, trying to wrap back A lane, but they're going to be walking into a crossfire this time. Shouldn't be any way back into this round.
It's probably just a save at this point, honestly. They've got money, so maybe, you know, walking forward and seeing if you can find some kind of a shot.
Yeah, doing some damage to MIBR definitely wouldn't hurt.
10 seconds left.
But it looks like they're just full chilling.
Yeah.
And MIBR might succeed at the hunt as well. SRN sneaking up behind. And Vanya's gun is gone.
Easy as that. Petra the sole survivor. And ultimately, like, that's a tough round, right? Because it just gets instantly shut down. Yeah, from backside, the pull gets off, the counter null command, and spam through a smoke. Hard for G2 to take too much away from that play. If anything, it's MIBR finding it a bit.
What is
and there's
this?
that energy back for G2 for MIBR.
I think they're wondering how all these kills are happening through smokes.
Yes.
All good. G2's response coming to this next round is to ignore the mains early on, play for this mid control. They found some picks here before, and that knife into top mid seeing nothing is going to really make them feel confident in their ability to threaten space forward.
G2 have seen that trip in mid a few times. This time they send a shock to deal with it immediately.
Yeah, interesting that smoke they threw there, threatening a little wrap going around.
This is just an execute onto B. Rescue is already dashed out. This time, SRN not here to cause trouble.
Yeah, it was supposed to look like a mid-split into B, and that's why multiple players of MIBR actually fell into that space.
But MIBR have re-cleared mid, and they already have a player who could go for a flank. SRN decides against it.
Petra's looking. Petra is stepping forward here. Drone will see the one, but she's getting rushed. Barely gets back around the corner to survive.
MIBR will start the retake. Rescue in the heaven smoke. Tucked just
Look
outside.
at her.
They're going past her. That's one. A second for Rescue. She has the dash popped and is ready to deal some more damage from heaven. Jelly caught out by the trip, taken down by Amy. It's just so well done by G2. Oops, though. Already had two. That's a third. A 1v1. Amy runs for the hills. The time is very low. Jubes needs to get on this spike. She has the kill, but there's just not enough time.
Yeah, spike on the wrong side, so Amy goes for the giga-wide swing. Unbelievable. I mean, nasty shots out of Jubes, but ultimately G2 win that round not because of good gunplay, but because of excellent macro decisions. I love that fake of a B split that pulls players off the site, and then recognizing that the Astral Wall is an option. They play really actively in the post plant. Mimi from backside, a Rescue up around the heaven smoke. It's exactly the right approach for them.
And a great round from Rescue. A player that I think G2 needs to step up if they're gonna contest teams that have players like SRN, like Fluorescent at the end of this tournament.
Interesting, because G2 built this super team and anyone can frag here. Rescue's had a little bit quieter of a tournament. Speaking of active jets, loud jets, SRN.
Sure, I think they thought this was just going to be a conversion into B off seeing that first player, but instead G2 is already up mid.
Yeah, ready for a mid crunch too as MIBR up in vents with 2 players. Petra's running straight into that and is not prepared for the second.
That's a spike!
Unbelievable.
Caught out in vents. How can G2 even begin to recover? Okay, Rescue barely holds on to the map.
Surely.
Just trying to swing into 2. SRN is here, yeah. That's the death note for the Jet from G2.
It's really interesting watching how MIBR are reacting to these mid plays. Of course, they got the huge assist from the early op shot. Now Vanya spotted out. But after getting exploited in mid a few rounds, this time we're really prepared for that fight.
It seems like G2 have a read on MIBR here. Their past Abyss games, they were not putting this much commitment into these like kind of exploding top mid, pivoting into A, pivoting into B lane.
And it's interesting because like when you watch a team play over the course of a tournament, a lot of times you'll see them as the tournament progresses wildly change their approach to the map, especially early on in halves because the prep is so much more, you know, there when there's all this tape on you.
And it's so hard to do that too, right? Because you're not only dealing with prepping for your next opponent, but also trying to change how you play.
Yeah, but that's where, you know, around the halfway point, around 6-7, very common you'll see a timeout come in and a big strategic shift for a team. And if G2 were going to slam a timeout, I would expect them to maybe do a little bit less around mid, especially early on in rounds.
For MIBR though, you have to give credit to young IGL Sayuri.
She's figured this out now a few times. After seeing that mid play, she calls for that crunch and it works really nicely.
Petra and Mimi other side, they've been going to events like this for years and years. This is Sayuri's first, and she's already led her team to the top 3.
Yeah, for all of MIBR. Brand new here, and there you go. G2 goes and going to be calling a timeout. If we're inspecting the money right now, it's looking fairly grim. They could maybe get a hero rifle or something like this. Of course, they have the one saved over.
I remember we were listening into the interview with Minnie yesterday, and he was talking about this strategy about not going where floors off is on this map.
Right.
I feel like that could be wise about SRN too.
Yeah, and if G2 were going to have a beat on SRN, it would be that, hey, they're playing over towards this B site a lot. Especially they like that heaven angle over on the top right corner of site, but also in the last round got a lot more active over there. But I honestly feel like that's maybe a little bit why G2 have been playing so much into mid, is especially avoiding mains early on. A main is one of those areas where Jet players will definitely like to go for, and if you're not really diligent clearing it out, you're going to get punished.
This round is going to be a bit of a tough buy for G2. And I think one of the tough things about playing this comp that a lot of teams have started to pick up is you actually don't have a ton of power ults to build that momentum back up. I feel like the only real big tools are the Hunter's Fury, the Null Command.
Right, and even those can be disrespected a little bit. Cypher can play on whatever side of the map that he wants and not risk his utility going down.
Yeah, a lot of teams will have those anti-KO ult setups. That's good there. So what's the adjustment for G2?
Well, first thing is they gotta spot this up over towards A. SRN.
That's a LAN angle. Just a millimeter showing from a G2 member.
See them though, using the drone, the flash over the top. Even then, SRN nearly connects the shot.
Use the dash though. She's kind of stuck in this corner.
Switches over to the shotgun to reposition. I like this. And honestly, G2 approached that really nicely. That box on the corner there, very spammable. So a lot of times, very important to put some bullets into that so that you can't just hard hold the angle that SRN was on. You can saw some of the chip went down, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and that doesn't look like much, but you got rid of the knife from Jelly. You got rid of the pull from Sayuri.
Problem is, what is that trip? What is that, people? Anti-jet updraft dash trip.
What is it even attached to?
I don't know what it's attached to.
I didn't know there was a piece of the map up there.
A lot of the times you don't look up for stuff like that.
Like for players too. Lucky for G2, it seems like they want to call back into A. Look how deep Amy has gotten in this round.
Yeah, trying to go up this right on that. Look at that ultimate coming through.
Amy heard the steps. Petra's ult is called in off of it. That is sick from G2
And it was at the same time Mimi sold a fake onto the B site because the knife went down, and G2 have always been execing with their knives. Mimi's calling has been really good in some of these rounds.
Masterminds Mimi. They still don't have the weapons they would love for this post plant though. and MIBR are inbound with this retake.
Rescue up close, right against the smoke, is ready for it! Look at the two coming in! And Petra dishing for a little bit more. A good dart from her slows down MIBR's advancement, but there's still so many players to worry about. Up in heaven, this Petra finally is going to be going down. The clock is down to about half. Molly out onto the spike. Jubes is just waiting for a kill, but there's still that lurk that they're waiting against. Up and down, Mimi gets the kill, and it's Sayuri, the IGL in 1v3, and it's just not gonna happen. G2 pull it off.
That is an incredible call from Mimi, and G2 goes in. They did not have guns going into that round, but it did not matter.
What a pivot. The Mastercard thrifty, I mean, fantastic shots out of Rescue to find those kills. But also the fake, as you said. Amy switching up and going for mid lurks. Instead of sending multiple players into mid, Amy's able to work with her camera, with her cages, to get embedded up in that forward spot. That opens up the ult.
MIBR still have money though.
That they do. SRN, very forward on the op.
And luckily for them, that's not a round that I think G2 will be able to repeat.
The thing is, if you clear away A main, there's only so many places the Jet can be. It's like on a forward line towards B or up on Heaven. It's not even all that common Jets will look for the op into mid.
And it's the Prior here. So G2 might already be locking in a hit on this A site.
I mean, and if they do hit, the thing is, right now, Cypher was playing like deep towards spawn to be outside of the range of Mimi's null command. Now is actually rotating away. I was going to say no one could actually flood into backside or you'd lose that util.
No command there. Oh, rescue into heaven, Sayuri! She's won that blinded, close enough on the paranoia, and is going to try and double dip for more. Spam won't connect.
Great shot out of Vanya, sniping away Melissa, but now Sayuri looking for an opportunity out of heaven.
She's not going to get anything here. Instead, Spam coming back the other way brings her down to 25, and MIBR have another retake on A.
Ooh, the smokes are down now, and the flashes come on through. MIBR maybe tagged up a bit themselves.
Another flash. SRN now has gun. Spike is still not planted, by the way. SRN trying to find an angle. Another smoke for G2. Finally, Mimi might just get the plant down. She sticks it.
There's no flashes for MIBR to get back out of that smoke, and there is a tiny little gap.
Instead, they're going to go back towards spawn. But look who's here, Petra, on for an MVP performance with this round. She's taken down by MIBR Superstar! Oh my God, Mimi! Whether the leadership or the shots, she's just got it all for G2 goes in. That is filthy!
Good Lord, Mimi's electric! Unbelievable 3K out of her. The round just about to slip away after a few missed shots, but Mimi's back on top. You gotta respect it. I mean, I think Vanya getting that kill was huge, but then that, come on! We were just watching the clip where Mimi got the ridiculous 3K 2 years ago in the finals on this very stage. She's getting another one here to try and go back.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Doesn't even phase her anymore.
Unbelievable.
This entire game has felt like MIBR gets some wins in the sails. They're starting to feel good. And then
the second they're on open seas,
yeah,
it's a storm. And it's called G2 goes in.
They're a pirate ship ready to go. So MIBR are going to call their first time out of this game. 3 rounds left in the half.
Problem for MIBR, no real money on this one. So honestly, like, I'm of two minds when it comes to like approaching an eco round, especially towards the end of the half, because one is, and we saw it from MIBR earlier, is you run something aggro off the rip and you try to, you know, jump the gun, get in front of G2. Last time that was a pretty active mid play. The other is deny information entirely, show absolutely nothing, threaten stacking somewhere, and force G2 to eat up some more time on the clock. I'd like to see them take that approach this time and not offer up quite so much to Mimi, because the information she's getting, she has been calling around so beautifully thus far.
G2 have changed their approach to mid. They're not going for these deep lurks anymore, but they've still threatened a lot of pressure there, which I think has been causing problems for MIBR's defensive calling.
Yeah, this A main control has been really effective for G2. Because you see either a forward hold and you know, hey, Cypher's probably over on the B side. Maybe that op is there too.
Yeah, since the round we talked about it, SRN's op has been completely nullified. She had to retake in back-to-back rounds.
SRN going for the full walk up there.
Now has to walk right on back.
Shameful. Couldn't get the kill and is now out. That said, though, G2 still haven't seen quite so much. I think they're expecting more of a lean into the A side because SRN was so far forward.
Remember, the last seek around for MIBR was a pop flash play into mid, very aggressive. G2 making sure to defuse any tripwires here.
Now, there's a very forward camera, so that's why no one's really playing on the site. SRN's going to be able to rotate quickly off of that one, no problem. But we are down now into slightly concerning territory, 40 seconds.
Shouldn't be too dangerous, though. Rescue dashes into the site. There are 3 players here from MIBR. And it's really a game about plant denial now. A smoke for SRN to walk deep. That's a 1v1 against Vanya. Rescue did trade that out, but it was an excellent shot from SRN. Can Jelly do the same? Spots out a player, can't connect it, and the duelist on the other side is really stepping up in this round.
Rescue's just been frying this round, this game. Now Petra, assisted by a flash into backside, is going to get hers before being traded out. That's about as good as you can ask here for G2.
Sayuri, seen, and Rescue's just going to take the long walk. Couldn't quite finish this one. So that's some reasonable damage from MIBR, but I really would have liked a round.
Yeah, at the end of the day, 2 rounds left, not going to mean too much of anything in the grand scheme of things. But this is where I'm wondering what that pivot is going to be. It looks to me like SRN is still going to be going for the op, makes some sense. But I think a passive line on A could be really effective for them. Because so far it's either been the forward hold on B or the forward hold in A. They've gotten forced off of that angle a lot. I don't think G2 are giving it up easily.
And that's the difference, right? SRN playing against Zipto, playing against other Brazilian teams regionally, was almost always getting value from these forward offlines. Wow. G2 is not giving it.
Rescue is feeling so good. That's an attack up here, waiting for SRN to overextend on B.
She has a Blade Storm in the back pocket if they have to go into an execute later.
Yeah, I like it. Interesting that Mimi's hanging out in mid with Amy as well. G2 goes in, probably not committing off of this one, maybe even just leaving Rescue as a late lurk, or to spot any jump peaks for a free kill.
Look at the rotations from MIBR. They leave SRN forward on A. And set up 2-2 between mid and B.
Absolutely wild. But this is the benefit of having a duelist that is just willing to walk up on lines. And G2, because they didn't put that active A main control down, have allowed this to happen.
G2, call looks to be fake A, go into B. SRN makes contact. She gets a kill as well. Does she believe this fake? No! She deals with it on her own. And there are still players from MIBR on this B site.
Everything is on Rescue in this post plant. We'll deal with some tripwires, but you gotta feel like G2 need to get active. There's a cosmic divide on the opposite side.
Vanya might be that hero instead. Teleported up top. Jubes in the close corner. Sees a shoulder, but that's not enough. Jubes wins that fight. Petra is stuck out in the open here, but can't do anything for it. And Rescue's blades, they go wide, allowing MIBR to win on this retake and bounce back.
Mimi's gonna be kicking herself after a round like that. Decided to stop going for the A main control, and then SRN just gets a walk up like that. I mean, that's gutsy too, because SRN could have easily been walking into a stack.
Almost any other jet, they're going to stop peeking A main after the amount of rounds G2 was pressuring her off that line. Yeah. But you have to actually get her out.
It's dangerous too, because when you don't see that same... The repeak is what always gets you. You don't expect that necessarily.
Those 2 power ults for G2 goes in online. I think the 3rd for Mimi this half.
Here.
G2 goes in with a really big pivot here. Have sent these same 3 players onto B side early on, changing up their scouting pattern to not get so predictable.
This is that passive line you were talking about. SRN deep in the site.
Really what I'm waiting for is...
Jubes up top. Sees ahead. Only needed a split second of vision. Now throws out her hat too. Wants another. Scans. Rescue. Takes the opener, but SRN has been here the whole time, waiting, biding her time, and she's just not expected have on P anymore.
More challengers just keep approaching into the site, but SRN is going to sit them down. The shots keep coming through, but now it's a 2v2 on site. Smokes are going down, the pressure is coming up, and G2 goes in are finding the shots that matters. Amy with one, Amy with another, and now it is just Sayuri.
The IGL in the clutch. Amy's not looking. A 1v1, and Mimi peeks right into her. Sayuri. She may have been getting out-called in some of these rounds, but she ends the half with an incredible clutch to tie this game.
In the IGL 1v1 as well. It doesn't get any better than that. She's just cold up there, calm as can be. Knows that this is a very long day ahead of us, but we have Mika Fab standing by with one of our co-streamers in the studio. We're gonna be taking a look at that in just a moment.
Over here, come a little bit closer here because we are here on Elidia's stream right now on this watch party along with Fugu and Kelsey. So guys, how have you been enjoying the event so far?
We are really happy to be here, and let's go, Amy!
Oh, we have Amy fans in the house. What do you like about Amy?
She's so strong and pretty.
Yes, I totally agree. She is fantastic. I love her energy. You've had a lot of guests over here. You had, I think, SRN stop by the other day. Who would you like to stop by here on your watch party?
I don't know what does that mean.
Which guest would you like to have over here and maybe interview as well?
Amy.
Amy! Just so Amy. Only Amy stands over here. What's been your favorite moment so far in this event?
The ace of Amy.
The ace of Amy! Oh, Amy's the only right answer. What about you guys? Do you have any? Same. Amy stands? Amy stands. Amy stands only. Well, when people tune into your watch party, we do get the title I Am Her. How do you feel about that title? I like it.
So Riot come back to told me what I want the titles in the game. So I said I am her.
It's so powerful, right?
Yeah, thank you.
It's so powerful. Now, okay. If you had to pick an MVP for this tournament, because Game Changers Champions is awarding an MVP, besides Amy, because I know that there's only Amy stands here, besides Amy, who would you vote for MVP?
I think Fluorescent.
Oh, and I think this is obvious, but why, in your opinion?
Because every move in game, it's like wow. When she plays, she's so strong, and all the time I'm shocked when she do a clutch or something like that.
Ridiculous movement, right?
Yeah,
now the score is 6-6 right now. What's your prediction for the rest of the map? Amy will win.
Amy wins.
Amy wins everything here on Elidia's watch party. Thank you so much. We're gonna go back into the game. Woo!
Thanks very much, Mika. An incredibly close half here, 6-6. We even saw the other G2 team, G2 Brosen, as the Ghost
Yeah, they're in the crowd.
Pretty cool. I think they were just competing together in the EMEA Spotlight Series.
Yep.
G2 won that one. Another one coming up in NA2, which I think they're also playing in.
Yeah, teammates, but also the biggest fans for today. And for tomorrow, they'll be rooting for. We're jumping into the second half here. Again, it finished off with this really sick clutch from Sayuri. Now the teams have had a moment to think and get ready for the second half.
So Sayuri calls her team to go into this B site with 4. No one's actually on the site for G2, but they're ready to flood in. Rescue in that heaven smoke, a temptation with SRN revealed on the trip, but she finds Mel first instead. Rescue dashes back, and MIBR have traded this out well. The IGL again is doing great work.
Oh! Just a nasty shot. Vanya's struggled so far in the first half. We know she is one of the best players in the world. See what she can do into backside. Gets the first one. Has now been taken down low.
But it's a high-low now for MIBR. Vanya smokes off the spike, but she's chipped down to 1 HP. And MIBR are just running her down. Jubes actually dies for it. SRN is blind now. This should not be possible. Vanya trying to stick to halfway. SRN baiting it out. She gets the kill. It's their time. It's down to the last Unbelievable clutch!
Banya is unreal! The 3K there. Getting on the spike during the paranoia. She had to get it to half. For the Red Bull clutch, I mean, just watch it again and appreciate.
But for MIBR, let's go! Just an absolute tragedy for them.
Gut-wrenching.
A 3v1 post plant against a 1 HP player. You cannot let opportunities like that slip.
Still, MIBR have gone for 3 sheriffs in this round. Don't forget, by the way, G2 won the second round after losing pistol in the first half. MIBR have had some tough luck on these low buys. But there's still some winning chances for them. Like, I don't want to oversell this right now, but if MIBR are able to find some kills, also say hello people.
Okay.
You get off the rope first. No, you get off the rope first. Sayuri jumps and... No, she didn't lose any HP. Good. That's a classic. What I was going to say, though, Sayuri is just 1 away from having the Cosmic Divide.
Amy. Spotted out. Blinded here. Okay. Rescue. 2 bullets, 3 kills. Couldn't ask for anything better. Did she go for the ace here? No. Jelly won't allow it. And hold on. It's a 2v3.
I have the spike.
MIBR will get the spike down.
Cosmic Divide. They gave the spike over to the Astra.
But G2, they're all grouped up together here. Already used the paranoia, and Sayuri is dealt with. Jelly would need to get an ace here. But she's already so low. Swings into Petra, and no chances there.
Did you really think they could win the eco?
I believe for a second.
They couldn't even get off the rope, Mimi!
The Brazilian sheriffs, though,
I'm amazed they made it to the site.
Okay.
Honestly,
They've
wow.
learned from that one now.
They have. Next time they get stuck on the rope, it'll be fine.
Rescue 2 off Bladestorm as well here.
Enemy spotted.
I'm looking at options available. G2 going for a really true bonus here. Had some options if they wanted to buy a few more rifles, but feeling very comfortable with the lead they have at the moment.
Here.
I think Rescue might even try to creep down into mid off of this line. Spot out any jump peek shenanigans.
MIBR right now just playing contain in mid, though.
Decent forward information for G2. They used a KO knife into A main early on. There's this very forward camera that Amy was able to put down in B2 and the line they're holding in mid. MIBR are spending a lot of time waiting for the aggression that's just not coming their way.
Amy's own camera. Also not catching anything yet. But MIBR are going to group up and finish B.
I like this approach from G2 on a low buy. Really not giving much for MIBR to work off of. So Sayuri is going to end up throwing down the Cosmic Divide, you'd imagine, to guarantee this one.
There it is.
Amy.
Okay, Amy. Going for that one and actually being rewarded for the risk she took. SRN gonna take a risk of their own, just charges straight through that wall.
Planted.
It's right underneath Rescue, and Rescue's got no idea.
I really don't think you expect a player this deep.
Drone pushes them off the angle, though, and actually gets tagged on the way out. Brutal!
The tripwire again. 3v5. This is G2's bonus round.
And the
dart
dart
goes
misses?
sailing off the map, but MIBR, they're just gonna light up the kill feed for 3. Sayuri, again on this site, making mincemeat of G2. The Bladestorm. Okay, Rescue wants to win this one. But the Astra's just running for the hills. She's getting pestered by utility and maybe a little too confident in that one.
There was definitely an angle for G2 to get in there, but that post plant, down in numbers. The combo of Sayuri and Jubes was really nice. Playing off each other, smokes are coming down. It can get really hectic in those post plant situations.
We've had the SRN absolute giga carry, get in my backpack 500 ACS game. This one has been much more about the team. I think Sayuri and Jubes have had some massive rounds to keep MIBR in this.
Yeah. Ironically, the other side is kind of the opposite story. I think Rescue has not been as dominant as I would have expected coming into the tournament, but map number 1, Looking real good. So hold on, Rescue is just up and underneath Melissa on the other side.
But she runs away.
Repositioning back over into mid.
Get SRN. Walks all the way up to this trip. Petra. Rescue as well, not ready. Incredible. SRN is gonna go hunting for more.
And at the same time, the rest of the team is moving over into B. Amy is trying to step up onto this ledge right now. Can she find the timing? No one's coming to clear her away. She finds the jump. That's going to be one end of the spike. Can't convert on a second.
But now the Agent of Chaos in mid. SRN activates again. Petra dinked. And the shorty, that'll finish the job.
Just brutal. The rest of G2 was rotating back through mid, back to the attacker side at spawn.
This is now a double flank, and MIBR, they now know at least one player is heading this direction. That's Vanya spotted out, but Mimi is an unknown quantity. Camera for Jubes. Oh, it sees her. Now the game's given up, and this round becomes that much more difficult to win. Mimi, okay, good start. Damage as well onto Melissa, but time, that's a huge factor here. It's taking away. Mimi eludes death yet again. Vanya's halving it, surely she can't get away with this type of game again. Not this time.
It got a little bit close, but MIBR played a masterful round. I mean, what SRN was able to do up into mid there, ridiculous. I mean, look at that. Heard the rotation from Rescue a little bit earlier, so it was primed and ready on the dart. Tripwire, whatever it's called.
Something like that.
He's able to find 2-3 kills in the round? Come on.
MIBR proving some real tenacity this game. Rallying back. They now have G2 reset on an eco. But G2 have won a lot of eco rounds already this game.
They have. SRN gets posted on an op, that high angle in mid, while the rest of G2 getting ready to push over into A main. Shots traded back, but Sayuri's not going to take any damage. I like that idea from MIBR. Play a stronger mid this round to make sure G2 can't get that cheesy push down and split your map right in half. Spot out the aggression and go for a grouped up reclear.
Yeah, MIBR a little traumatized by the eco rounds they've lost. They're going to play
never again
all together this time. Not take any risks. Clear every angle with the drone. And take a fairly open A site. G2 have a flood retake though. I think this dart flash combo could be potent. They can even use it, so it's still rotating in. Okay.
I guess we're just getting active anyways.
You have an operator, chooses to use the shorty to convert that kill.
Whatever works, Mimi.
Okay.
Don't doubt a god. I'm talking about Vanya.
Yeah. But that god falls too, and it's a little strange to me that they're investing the null command there. It looked like a one round already.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even notice that going down.
I wonder if it was like a misclick or a little panic.
I don't know. G2 calling a timeout to give MIBR a chance to think about that all. Yeah, honestly, how many kills has Sayuri been getting through smokes this game?
Yeah. More than you'd expect.
Happening a little bit too much.
Yeah.
No!
I live for the MIBR reaction.
Honestly, it's always good. It's always good. I feel like player reactions this tournament have been excellent.
They have. Critical juncture now for G2. They're down a round on their map pick. They're going into bind after this, where MIBR has been lights out. So to say closing out this map is kind of a necessity for G2, I think could be an understatement.
Yeah, especially because this is the map they're really supposed to be winning after what they showed against Shopify yesterday.
Yeah.
Going
OT.
17-15?
Yeah.
That would have finished out ridiculous.
The issue, though, was defense. Remember, they could only ever win attack rounds in that OT.
Yeah.
Especially their B site was just getting brutalized by Shopify. Floor was running them over on the executes.
The thing is, I don't feel like G2 need to do anything crazily different. They've gotten caught out in mid that one round. That was pretty bad. But apart from that, it was just a post-plant situation in the anti-bonus where they should have won by all means. They were up 5v3 and just lost to some good shots. It doesn't seem to me like in this game it's a strategic problem. It's just some rounds not going their way in the ecos.
Yeah, they've only lost one rifle round this half.
Yeah.
But the thing about Valorant is you lose another and you're already looking down the barrel of a map loss.
I think it's interesting that they're opting to do very little in mid, just put down the tripwire. But I kind of like it. Playing a lot more aggressively for the sites, holding A main.
SRN buys an attack operator here.
Sova spotted out. Not seeing Jet, though, is a big deal.
I wonder if she expected something aggressive from G2, try and punish that with the off. They are going a little aggro in A main.
Yeah.
Said it's Jelly here to contain.
I really like these looks from attacking teams that just take early B main space and leave their opper to hold for an angle. Because, I mean, that's a favorite angle to just go for a little jiggle or go for a jump peek. Or you can also hold it for Heaven or all the way over on the left side where, you know, Vanya's thinking about going for a peek a little bit later. But what this does when you go for the op and you go for this playstyle is it slows you down tremendously. If G2 aren't doing things, you just have lost 50 seconds after a blink.
I feel like I've watched this round from G2 earlier in the half. It's a
And
fake
ult.
attempt, ult to use. That's a really big resource gone, and 3 players are still on A.
The thing is, there's still 2 players on B holding this, and SRN is entering with a rifle. It was switched over to Sayuri, so they're going to the backside. A good flash to start things off. But the kills, not all going MIBR's way. Vanya's able to escape and call in the rest of her team.
3v4. G2 need this round. Mimi has a flash. They'll work together to work back into this site. Oh, that's a good start for G2. Mimi keeps it going, and it's an easy conversion to tie us up again.
Yeah, everyone coming out from Heaven there on G2. It worked beautifully. Mimi starts it off with a flash, flashed herself into the site, as a matter of fact, and keeps it going. MIBR definitely felt the time pressure, especially after they got sort of beaten to the punch. They were trying to go for a fake over into the A site, but a really nice time to re-clear of A main. Nets G2 so much.
Rescue also recovered the operator that SRN had brought into that previous round. So now she gets her turn. She'll go aggressive on B.
There's 4 players here, though. It's so hard to get a kill against all this util.
And Rescue. Do something here. Already knifed up, yeah. Gotta get away from that one.
Ouch. Wow, if Melissa's the only player with a Sheriff, a rifle there may have had a kill.
Astra Wall used. Dart. Locks off. G2
SRN.
separated by this
SRN, look at go! Into backside, diving around the Astra Wall. That's absurd. Finally, she's put down.
But in mid, Jubes spots out 2 players, but can't make it work. So now G2 have this even again. Petra swings through the wall, and timing! Oh, how has she lost that?
Jellybangs gets the kill and gets out. It's a 3-on-2 now.
Jelly fell off the map!
What?
What is going on? 2v2. They still have an Astra Star for the Brazilian side, and ult as well to work with. This is a very tough one for G2 to win. Time. So far gone, they have to kill this Astra, but she gets the pull off in time and wins the fight against Amy too. Now it's Vanya, a familiar position, but this time without the spike half, without the luxury of time, and with no HP. It's 10-9, MIBR pull ahead again.
What an absurd round. I mean, SRN's pathing into the site is just a thing of beauty. Using that wall to sort of give that pathway up to top site,
Yeah, she went
down
back
onto the
and forth through that wall a good 3-4 times in that entrance.
Mimi's trying to figure out where Jelly is, or where SRN is. Just in the walls, and down.
Goodbye, Jelly.
Still won the round.
Yep. Calculated, didn't give away an ult orb.
So smart.
Laughs it off though for Jelly. Why? It's not the same vibe for the G2 coaches.
Same knife thrown by G2 this time around, but a very different setup on a low buy.
Weird money for G2.
Yeah. Hero rifles, because, yeah, a few players can buy next.
He only has a classic.
It's a tough choice to make.
So Rescue.
And so much forward space.
Yeah, she's been so good this game. And no one's ever walked up to this position. Thus far this map, there are a lot of MIBR players here. SRN! I didn't even look like she was ready.
Credit to MIBR, like being fully ready for that, because G2 really tried to sell that same walk-up into B main as they saw last round with Rescue. Tried to do this little feint, but MIBR, Sayuri has called around this perfectly.
Yep, straight back into A. And only Vanya is here to anchor.
Bulldog up from Heaven, but...
Second trip in the same spot. Precautions taken.
Jubes has had all the different trip ideas.
She has. G2 used their util very early here.
Oh dear.
Oh, they're rewarded for it. Petra, just 1 for 1.
30
But
seconds
wanted
left.
something more. Vanya, what a shock dart. Down to 53 health. Smoke's now getting cycled towards Heaven, and MIBR.
Amy ran into both trips, and now there's 3 people wide swinging her.
Both of them. Okay. They know she's here. But the rest of her team has to come and bail her out. If this can be a pinch, that's massive. And Amy has found a gap in this round. Vanya smokes a spike. Flash into main, but the flank is dealt with, so is Vanya, and now this round is nigh on impossible for Mimi, who has no HP.
Well called around from MIBR. Remember that started out with that mid-aggression they were able to re-clear, and then kept things really simple going into the finish.
Second game now, where G2's defensive side is struggling.
Yeah, and this time without that little bit of cushion towards the end. I think this is pressure moment for G2, for Rescue especially. He's had a good game, but this op has to be good.
And it's an op duel on A. Both Jets with the weapon in hand. How?
A jump peek!
Did she win?
Are you kidding me?
It's unreasonable to expect her to connect that shot. I mean,
Rescue
when was the last time?
completely unprepared for how fast SRN went for that.
When was the last time jump peeks like that worked? That's like the beta tech.
It's been a long time. They nerfed that.
Yeah, okay.
SRN does not agree with patch notes.
No, she doesn't. Making a real case for MVP.
It's interesting though how MIBR have called this. They use a drone over into B, maybe feinting a little bit of extra pressure, but really they're still trying to see if G2 are going to overplay their hand, down a number. And they have. That A site completely open.
Yeah. Walt will stop G2 flooding into this one quickly at all.
Vanya got that operator now for the retake. But we know that op is going to be so hard to find value because MIBR always play forward in the post plans.
SRN, single-handedly with this operator, has brought this into a 3v5. I almost feel like G2 has to save at this point. They're going up against 12. 250 credits on Amy, 300 on Petra. They just don't have the resources.
The unfortunate thing about saving too is you don't have chances to get ult orbs back, right? Petra's not going to have that ult now in a must-win round, round 22. But simply put, G2 have not been able to find the answers to this wild style play of MIBR, right? Whether it's the start of the round, SRN just sprinting A main, full audio, jump peeking, getting the kill, or in the post plants, always fighting into G2 spawn.
I love watching MIBR. Because it feels like they play such good, proper Valorant, call good mid-round, slow down the game, and then they just have one psychopath who's jump peeking you at the start of every round, who's going deep on the post plant with an operator, and who's now 24-16 on map 1.
SRN just forces you to play differently. You can't jump peek anymore. SRN's going to be ready for the angle. You can't take a moment to breathe. SRN's going to be forcing you off of the angle.
G2 goes in, if cobbled together a buy.
Oh.
Petra.
Warning shots from SRN into mid.
You won't get another warning.
Vision. Get out
Watch
of
where
my way.
Rescue is though. This is a little bit of an angle where she can dodge off the angle, get back in after waiting out something like the drone. Rescue needs to find something, but again, she's spotted. Melissa has not allowed Rescue to play the game this half.
Spike retrieved.
This round is so slow from MIBR. They want to finish B.
Don't forget about Jubes and a late mid lurk too.
Rescue, the 17-year-old star for G2. She has to be the one to keep them alive this map, and that is a great start. Connects the operator shot onto SRN. Now Amy's utility comes in as well, but that trade through the smoke from Jelly.
Rescue, the only player on B here, but MIBR don't know that. With 35 seconds left on the clock, they're calling the rotate out.
Jubes! Oh, that was her chance.
30 seconds
Doesn't
left.
get anything for it. It's the 3 new players for G2 goes in, who have kept them in this game thus far.
And now G2, you gotta feel like they know what's going down. They're leaving that A site open. and they're going to allow MIBR to take some more forward space. This is so important for Melissa. She has to go on a hunt.
G2 fully group up.
They're ready for it.
They should not let Melissa get away with anything. But Petra is so far ahead of the rest of the team. There's a paranoia. Melissa tucks in. Jelly as well is making something here. Down to 10 health. That angle is good damage. Onto rescue. The Blade Storm whips. She's off the map. And MIBR strike first. They claim G2 Gozin's home map.
Melissa with the 3K to close it through. What a round! Down into a 2-on-4, but they took their fight so perfectly. Every angle Jelly's going onto. Just ridiculous.
MIBR, an incredible start to this series, and we go to their favored map of Bind when we return.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good, good, good. I just feel so good, good. I just feel so good.
Welcome to Rebel Homeground.